Hey there, everybody and anybody. Welcome back to Night Call. We are in night 3, and we are trying to find a serial killer. So, let's go ahead and hop right in. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You open the sofa bed and lay down. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, passengers, their faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed. Your body aches and you're in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. You hope to find more information tonight even, as soon as you wake up. You shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. And suddenly, you're asleep. Alright. You open one eye. Fragments of a dream are still lingering. A strange woman offered to feed you seeds that fell out of the sky. You get up and quickly forget all that. A few minutes later, you're outside your studio. Alright. So, I don't think we need gas yet. Let's start here. Get some more witnesses going here. From outside, the Montparnasse gun store looks like any other shop. A plain, discreet front window, sliding doors. But inside they sell handguns, machine guns, knives, and even grenades. It's your first time here, but you've already had its owner in your cab. Store opens really early so the patrons can come train at this shooting range. As you walk up to the counter, you hear the distant noise of gunshots under your feet. It's an unsettling experience. Can I help you? It's the owner speaking, an older woman with a hunched back. She's been selling weapons since the 70s. She's cheeky in a typical Parisian way, and wrinkles carve craters across her face. Ah, it's you. It's been ages. Come closer. You make small talk and eventually decide to go for it. I have a question for you about a weapon. You slide the photo of the shell across the counter. She looks slowly up at you. Where's the photo from? She's been doing this for years and you doubt you can pull one over on her. The cops. Yeah? And how did you end up with police photos? I'm helping them out. You know perfectly well this lady never smiles, but something on her face shifts ever so slightly into what might be construed as a small grin. I'm not surprised. You are always the type to want to help people out. She practically rips the photo out of your hands. You give her as many details as you can. She thinks for a while. The shop doors open and a woman, probably a cop from her appearance, comes in, greets the owner, and disappears downstairs. When she opens the door, it creaks and the smell of gunpowder spreads through the shop. It's funny. This doesn't fit with what you told me. The shell is in perfect shape, and you told me the bullets are also completely clean. But it's old ammo, you can tell. There are no scratches, but there are a few oxidation stains. Her voice grows darker all of a sudden, like something had escaped from her. In my opinion, it is from an old weapon, perfectly maintained, by someone who knew what they were doing. In light of what you told me, I'd say it belonged to a cop or soldier. Could be a family weapon. It was a police service weapon in the 1970s. Either a cop held on to it, or the guy you're looking for inherited it. That judge there, he's a pro. You raise your head to meet her gaze. Her old bones make that slight shift again, the one that could be construed as a smile. Or she, actually. You know, lots of women shoot. And I give classes if you have any lady friends who are interested. Back in your cab, you glance back at the shop. You don't know how this woman knew that. Anyway, you start your taxi. and what you need to move forward, and you have what you need to move forward with your investigation, and a coupon for a class on shooting automatic weapons. Alright. Maybe I'll go here afterwards, but I want to make sure I get money and stuff going. That's good. Now we know that it really is that 70s weapon. Your next passenger is alone and waiting for you on the sidewalk. She gets into the cab and whispers, "Hello." She has no handbag or suitcase, just a small handmade sign with an Indian name printed on it. "Charles de Gaulle, please." She's young, with a soft and slight accent. Her face shows no emotion. Her fingers play with a small gold chain around her neck. It's the only piece of jewelry she has on. You drive, glancing back at her from time to time. Her head seems to be elsewhere. "Everything all right, miss?" She nods her head gently, cracking a tiny smile. "It's really early." "The first planes to come in are the worst. Everyone is exhausted and half asleep." "Yes, exactly, and..." She sighs. "I must confess, I don't really want to go there." A tiny smile lights her face up for a split second before disappearing. "Ah, family?" The future husband. Well, future. I've never even met him." Her accent suddenly becomes stronger. And you know this habit well. Just before confiding in you, passengers tend to relax into their natural accent. "I'm sure he's a great guy, as they say here." Sadness appears in her voice. "But I do not know him at all. My parents chose him." "It's crazy, isn't it? Are you shocked?" Say nothing. A sad smile washes briefly over her face. "It's tradition, or at least it used to be. My parents are a bit old school, even by current standards in India. I choose to study here, and not in England like my sisters." She flashes a smile. "I fell in love with Paris and decided to stay. I almost never go home." By the way, I'm butchering every kind of accent that I'm going for here. Don't judge me. "Actually, this is home now. Anyway, my parents insist I meet him. I decided to make the trip, saying he had a meeting as a pretext." It's hard to hold it against them. It's understandable from their perspective. I mean, it worked for them, right? You sense something bubbling up, anger before she freezes. Some people refuse to let their emotions out. She slowly regains control of her body. "What day trips would you recommend outside Paris?" "Nearby." She nods. "Versailles, of course. It's really beautiful, definitely worth it." Her face lights up. "Oh, yes, perfect. I'm sure he'll like that." "Or there's Fontainebleau. There's a huge park, very wild if he likes hiking." "I don't really know." She smiles shyly. You prefer to say nothing. The airport is not much further. What are you talking about? Maybe we're almost there. Something about the young woman makes you feel uncomfortable. She looks as if she's about to scream, but is holding it in. Time passes and silence fills the cab. "Which terminal?" Your question startles her. "Terminal C? 2C, I think." It's supposed to be a nice day out today. Smile crosses her face, then quickly disappears. "Yes, I hope so. Thank you." You park the car in front of Terminal 2C. Passenger grabs her sign and exits the cab. She pauses for a second, as if she were about to say something. Then she disappears. I don't think I want to pick up the cat. Alright, drunk guy. I think I could do drunk guy. Passenger waves to you from the sidewalk, unsteady on his feet. One hand in the air, the other cupped to his mouth to get your attention. This one's been drinking. He gets in, out of breath. You start driving. "I thought I was gonna have to walk. Thanks for stopping." No problem. You have a nice evening. Take us a minute to catch his breath. Crazy, 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 crazy. He leans forward, his face close to yours. His breath reeks of vodka, making your head spin. There's another smell coming off of him. Cologne. It's crazy. One day, you just realize you're useless. It's just same old, you know? And bam! You get a yes. From life. From Sonia. Her name is Sonia. It is our third date. His eyes rolled back in his head and a huge grin spreads across his face. I haven't felt like this in ages. As he speaks, he pulls the hair off the top of his head. It's a toupee, for which he lays down on the seat next to him. As he runs his hand over his bald head, it looks like he's never been happier or felt freer. She teaches philosophy at my high school. I usually don't speak to her type, all liberal freaks. But I don't know, man. She has a strict way of walking, a serious look about her. She invited me for coffee at the end of the school day. I had a ton of papers to grade, but I said yes. Best decision of my life. My whole life. His eyelids droop and his voice becomes flatter. We went to the movies on our second date. It was Ken Loach, another liberal freak, but she was really disappointed by it, almost angry. I knew she was the one. We decided to get one more drink. She grabbed my hand, gave me that look like she wanted more. I didn't know what to do with myself. He yawns, about to fall asleep. I can't let my seniors find out. You let him doze off. When you arrive at your destination, he's time to sleep. Sir? Your passenger awakes with a start. His first words come out in a swallow, half-eaten and unintelligible. Sorry, I dozed off. He glances at the meter, digs in his pocket, and pulls out a handful of bills. You watch as he staggers down the street. A long minute later, he disappears into his building. Let's see what happens here. Passenger who enters your cab slams the door and stares at you intently. Uh-oh. Good evening. Are you kidding me? This is how you want to start? Do we know each other? She gives a sour laugh. Don't play innocent with me. If I were to say to you, her voice is slightly raspy, with an oddly metallic sound, October 27th, that's the date, the night of the attack, the night, yeah? Could this woman be the judge? 10:46 p.m. No, the attack took place later. Does that ring a bell? You nod your head. Sure. Yes, it does, miss. Don't you miss me. Not another word. She wags an accusing finger at you. Last October 27th, you were in this very cab driving a fare and you committed a crime. That's right, sir, a crime. I'd spent the whole day working like an idiot for that rotten newspaper. Do you have any idea what I do for a living? I'm a sub-editor, Mr. Taxi driver. I correct mistakes that a bunch of moron journalists make. There isn't a single one, not one, who knows how to write a proper sentence. I'd had it, really had it. And on the night God damn it. And on the night of October 27th, you cut me off. I almost died that night. She grinds her teeth, you shudder. I crashed my car, my boyfriend's car, that is, the same guy who made yet another comment about women drivers. The neighbors called the police that night. I made such a scene. To think the guy dares call himself a feminist. She paused for a dramatic effect, and a disturbing smile spreads over her face. Her voice is suddenly noticeably quieter, almost fragile. The next day, no more boyfriend, no more car. I messed up a job interview with a major news outlet, a paper where people know how to write, where they follow basic rules of French grammar. Imagine, just for a moment, I could have stopped correcting copy for a bunch of morons. She takes a deep breath. But all because of you, because of your cab, everything changed the night of October 27th. A sad, faraway look comes over her. My life has never been the same since. But her voice is bursting with fury and hatred. Forced to go live with my mother while I went apartment hunting in this rotten city where tiny studios cost an arm and a leg. So I start looking for you. The back of your neck breaks into a sweat. You can feel cold, clammy droplets about to drip down your spine. I've started asking around. I bribed one of your colleagues into giving me your number. Droplet of sweat starts sliding down your back. Then I found your address, your first one, that is. You shiver as the drop reaches your boxers. But that's your business. What matters is that I did eventually get your other address, the real one. The droplet has reached your tailbone. You start shaking. At first, I admit, I was planning to go to your place. She shrugs her shoulders. Her voice had softened a little. Just maybe to spit in your face, or something like that. And then I thought to myself, no, Ludivine, maybe the guy deserves a chance, you never know. So you're going to apologize. Go on, give it your all. Take your time, take a deep breath. She breathes in deeply, then exhales. Like that. She probably is not going to care about that. Let's do it. I'm sorry, but I don't remember that night. Not memorable enough, huh? No, I forgot what happened that night. She freezes. A few minutes after I met you, I was attacked. Attacked by the judge, the serial killer. It's you. You survived. Yeah. A host of conflicting feelings flicker across her face. Doubt, surprise, anger, desire to slap you. Then she falls back against the car seat, all her anger somehow gone. I didn't know. The police wanted to keep it all secret. I didn't see the killer's face and he didn't see mine. For my own protection, for my peace of mind. The newspaper where I work, they're looking for you. We have a reporter looking for you. The last few months have been difficult for you. Really difficult. I'm still sorry. Even if I don't remember anything, even though I was attacked, it doesn't change anything about... Can't find the right words. Maybe because you imagine a moment, a normal night, how things should have been. Passengers rides in Paris, a tourist looking to Mauritius or something. God, why did they get a French everything? Damn it. You, your cigarettes, cheap packs of beer, the little radio next to your bed. Your passenger clears her throat. She knows your mind is elsewhere. Thanks. All her anger is evaporated. No more looks that could kill, simmering rage or grinding teeth. My boyfriend was a jerk anyway, and then this job, maybe it wasn't so great. She gives you a little smile. I tend to get all worked up over things. You'd noticed. And sometimes I take things a little too... far. That too. In Paris, I guess we are quick to forget about being nice to each other, about being polite, and for a taxi driver, you're a real sweetheart. She gives a short laugh. This is what I suggest. I'm going to exit the cab. I'm going to go for a little walk in the cold to get my mind off things. And then when I get home, I'll destroy all the information I have on you. Is that okay with you? You nod yes. Thank you. The word echoes for a minute through the taxi. Your passenger reaches for the door. Door opens and closes. You're alone in the taxi, your head spinning slightly as if you'd had a drink. Just one. But something was really strong. You briefly try to remember that night. Nothing. Nothing but a vague impression of something behind you, the killer's silhouette, a fleeting presence. You shake your head, there's nothing more than before. If only you had turned around, everything would have been easier. If you'd have seen the face of... All at once you start the cab. Could probably go the rest of this night without getting gas. I'll have to get some tomorrow night. Alright. You park your taxi across from the stadium just a few meters from a two-story building. It's an odd brick place that clashes with the huge concrete behemoth that is Charlton Stadium. You get out of the car and walk out to the front door. You knock. You wait a few minutes. Lights come on. The door finally opens. Marco appears. Marco's a former taxi driver. Strange guy, a bit spacey and different. He's been working at the stadium for a few years now. Well, shit. You're still alive? That's Marco. You like him. I mean, wow. So nice to see you. Even though he stole your wife. Damn. Come in. You want something to drink? All right, you stop drinking. Cup of coffee? Yes, please. You follow him into a caretaker's home. It's pretty nice despite the mess and filth. He serves you a cup of coffee and sits down at the table. You follow suit. The only noise in the room is the TV behind Marco. Before you came by, he was playing a soccer video game. Fans are singing and clapping their hands. So, what have you been up to? I have some questions for you. He shakes his head. No, not yet, man. Seriously, no. Last time I helped you out, I lost my job, so the answer is no. You have no choice and you know it. You owe me this much. Marco drops his head between his shoulders. He starts to beg. I'm telling you, man, I love this job. It's so easy. I get to take care of the stadium that's empty 75% of the time. He sits up roughly in his chair. Behind him on the screen, the stadium is going wild. I need information on Ronan Bassan. He straightens up. Ronan? That coach that got killed by the judge? The very one. He was a great guy. Everyone's torn up about it. But there were rumors. Some parents heard he got a little too hands-on with the kids a while back, if you get my drift, but no one's ever looked into it. Was it true? I don't know nothing, he sighs. A few months ago, Ronan cornered a kid, like by the showers, you know what I mean? Kid stabbed him in the thigh with a pair of scissors and ran away. Good for the kid. Kid's parents weren't sure whether they filed a complaint. Club director brought Ronan in and bam! 2 days later, he was murdered. Who else knows this? About the kid? No one, I think. Maybe some other parents? I don't know. You get up. One last thing. Give him the names of the victims. He lists the victims. He doesn't react until you mention Charles Beaugrand. Oh yeah, him? I know him. I mean, everybody knows him. Right-wing extremist son of a bitch. Hold on. What are you doing these days? Can't say. Marco sits up. Damn it, I'm gonna get fired. Easy. His voice speeds up. Don't tell anyone where you got this information, okay? Don't worry. Yeah, I heard that before. A vuvuzela noise comes from the TV. Okay, I gotta run. He walks you to the door, mumbling with clenched teeth. Every time I run into you, you jinx me. Every single time. You walk outside and start your taxi. Door, key, motor purring. You go back to work. So, one of the victims was a pedophile. Got stabbed. I don't know. Alright, let's accept the cat fare. Pull up to the sidewalk and wait for your passenger. Since it looks like a no-show, you get out of the cab for a minute or two to smoke a cigarette. There's not much going on in the small town in the suburbs. There are a few apartments that still have lights on. Sweet scent hangs in the air. Eventually, you stub out your cigarette and get back into the car. You jump, startled. Cat has managed to slip into the cab, sitting in the back seat, staring at you intently. Sit there for a moment, considering whether or not to shoo it away. Just as you are about to wave your hand, Cat shifts positions and just a slip of paper falls from its collar. You pick up the piece of paper and unfold it. A fragment of a map of Paris, the Saint Lazare train station. You turn your eyes slowly to the cat. He seems to be expecting an answer. Alright. You going somewhere? Cat tilts his hat to the side as if to say yes. You want to go to Saint Lazare? Cat tilts his head again. You a dog? Cat slowly nods its head no. Your hands clutch the wheel tightly. The hell is going on? You turn around and face the cat. Okay, I'll take you. Okay, fine. Start talking to yourself in low tones, as if to balance the conversation. Normal, Saul, perfectly normal. You start the cab, but cast a glance at the cat behind you. You're the one that ordered the cab? You start to laugh. A few minutes go by, you try to break the ice. Simple questions are probably best. Everything okay? Either yes or no. More of a plaintive meow. You meeting someone? No, that's not it. Cat staring at you. Conversation seems to bore him. You seem to be well fed. Pretty strange, I must say. Did someone hunt you? Plaintive meow. You sigh. Your owner? Another meow, but longer and deeper, more heartfelt. Nod your head. What happened? Was it a man? No answer. Woman? She mean to you? Cat seems to be uncertain. She's not around for you. Cat doesn't seem to understand. For instance, your owner is never home, you're bored, you want to spend more time playing. Cats could roll their eyes, he would have. Overly affectionate. Cat lets out a string of insistent meows. Touche, that's it. She's too affectionate, and that's why you're running away. Cat's watching you with a steady eye. You're sure you're on the right track. You have to be careful with people like that. They'll suffocate you before you even know it. Nod your head. But you ran away. I meet lots of people like you. Stop short. But you're just a cat. You roll your eyes. Behind you, the cat lets out a quiet, reassuring meow. What I mean is, well, we don't even know we're in a cage. We prefer not to think about it. We're never fully aware of it. You look at the cat. Must be true crazy. I'm talking to a... You shake your head. You point to a light in the distance. And Saint Lazare will be there soon. A few yards later, you stop at the drop-off area in front of the station. First train doesn't leave for another hour. Where are you going? Cat stares at you without making a noise. Saint Lazare. If you were going to a suburb of Paris, you wouldn't have needed to come into town. So somewhere in the northwest of France, Normandy, somewhere by the sea, huh? Cat's looking at you and meows a sharp sound. Probably a yes, a very hungry yes. For the fish, I guess. Check the time on the dashboard. It's time to go. You get a real customer. You try not to think too much about your situation you're in. You hope that no one sees you talking to a cat. I'll just start by saying the names of cities, and you meow when I hit the right one. You start listing cities in Normandy. Cat doesn't move a muscle. Cherbourg. Cat looks up. So it's Cherbourg. Getting close. St. Malo. Still nothing. I got it. Deauville. Meow delight. You're smiling too. All of a sudden you're exhausted. Okay, come on. Time to say goodbye. Get out of the cab and open the back door. Bill has appeared at the seat next to the cat. It's enough for the fare and more. Well, you're full of surprises, aren't you? I won't ask where it came from. Smile, lean over to pet the cat. Leaps out of the car, darts between your legs. You'd still make out its shape dashing up to a flight of stairs and slipping between the bars of a gate. You get back in the cart. Le chat achievement. You look at yourself in the rearview mirror. Your features are heavy with fatigue. Your right eyelid is twitching. As you start the car, you remember you're allergic to cats, but you haven't sneezed once. You pull out of the station. Alright. Let's go get Santa Claus over here. Okay, Santa, let's do this. Your next passenger smells like beer. It's even worse. It's like every single fiber in a Santa suit has been soaking in a keg. Come on, dash away! His breath is 96% brandy. Your eyes are starting to sting. I'm parked somewhere near the Champs-Élysées. Shit. The name of the street is... His head is spinning and he does his best to hang on to the door. Impasse. It'll come back to me. Go ahead, drive. You start driving. Silently wonder how to ask your passenger if he has enough money to cover the fare. You glance back at your passenger. He's mumbling to himself, but you can't quite make out what he's saying. Christmas is over, so why is he still dressed up? You have a nice evening. Oh, fabulous. Smile spreads across his face. And I really needed it. He lowers his voice. He's confiding in you. After working my ass off all year long, I like to hit my favorite pubs. I get monumentally wasted. He guffaws. Here in Paris, there's such a bunch of bistros. Perfect for just such an occasion. No one talks to you, and they have white wine so dry it eats away at the inside of your mouth. And so many different types of brandy. Pear brandy, cognac. He closes his eyes in delight. And sometimes I order just one eeny-weeny beer to cleanse the palate. He's almost whispering. Okay, it's usually not one of them fancy microbrews there. He jumps. Oops! But don't tell anyone, okay? Just imagine if people found out Santa Claus thought the beer here tasted like piss. He laughs a sparkling laugh. When he stops, it's just to throw out, non-committally. Anyway, you can't say anything anymore. Honestly, with all this trouble I go to, people should just leave me the fuck alone. All those fair weather activists, they're still saying they want their little snot-nosed miracles to get the latest stupid toy. Oh hey, speaking of snot-nosed kids, what is it with this manure pile of a new generation? 50 years back, you could give a kid a book and he'd go on about it his whole life, all starry-eyed. But today's little whiners, what an eyesore. Fucking hell. They want to have it all, but they don't like anything. They all have GSMs when they're 8. Those things cost a whole month's wages. How can you possibly make them happy after that? How? He's staring at you, waiting for you to answer. No idea. He raises his hand. At least you're honest enough to say you don't know. I appreciate your honesty. Closes his eyes, like he's taking a moment's rest. You want to tell me to tell you what they really want? What kids these days want are machine guns and dolls whose hair you can fix. He seems to have calmed down a second. It was just an illusion. Speaking of which, both boys and girls, I switch those up, like those dolls whose hair you can fix. He twitches a mustache and sounds. Back when I still made toys for kids, I can tell you they didn't care less about them. Couldn't give a damn. Oh, he's supposed to be real Santa. They just wanted to have fun. Play, laugh, and forget that their parents were losers. He leans over to you, rife with anger. Fuck, that's the real problem, I'm telling you. Parents are losers. Idiots. Putting kids into this world, those guys haven't got a clue. Am I right or am I right? I mean, have you seen the state of the ice cap these days? Have you? Huh? Because there's not much of it left. He pauses. Nah, I can't say it's all bad. I don't have as many polar bears coming into my yard. Damn nasty beasts. Vicious. Mean. I'm not sad to be rid of them. He heaves a long sigh through his beard. Before, things were different. Tears form at the corner of his eyes. Shit, I can't talk about the past without crying like a little girl. Throws you a sideways glance. No need to stare. You haven't even had time to react, and he starts back into his rant. I remember you, To tell the truth, I remember everyone, every single person. You were an angry one. So terribly angry. And your letters, your handwriting, holy fuck, were they hell to decipher. Don't worry though, the elves handle all that for me. You could hear a hint of disgust in his voice when he brought up the elves. Otherwise, I want to have a time to do nothing. Yeah, you were just furious, like someone punched you in the stomach. Your brother was giving you hell, someone wrenching your gut. Man, what a... He suddenly thinks of something and stops talking. His gaze wanders outside. Yeah, anyway, let's talk about something else. How do you know all that? You still don't get who I am? You stare at him in the rearview mirror. Look, kid, I'm not gonna spell it out for you. And something tells me you'd rather avoid the subject. A little something called jail. Another punch to the stomach. So there's your Christmas present. We're not gonna talk about it. He smiles, opens his eyes wide. Wait, I think we're almost there. Slow down a little bit, kid. Searches outside for... What are we looking for? We're looking for my sleigh, kid. What else? He looks at you with pity. It shouldn't be hard to spot. It's a sleigh and a couple of half-dozen reindeer. He heaves a funny sigh. I'm sure it's like in an alleyway somewhere. Oh, right over there. Turn right. You obey and go up a street where you were on a few seconds before. A few meters down, passenger stifles a yelp. Oh shit! It was right here. Drive around the block. You turn again. Back your passenger's mumbling. I'm gonna have to get one of those thingamajigs, the GPS's. Help me find my sleigh more easily. You eventually pull over in an alley. No light, a few empty office buildings, and some trash cans that have been empty for days. Kid, sorry about before. I didn't mean, to bring up any sore points. Pace is fair. Wash your back, kid. Gets out and slams the door. Slips on the wet sidewalk, grabs onto a street lamp with a heavy and awkward step. He clumps along the alley. You sit for a moment, watching him. At the end of the alleyway, he starts rummaging through a pile of boxes, pushes a trash can on wheels aside, and disappears. Sure. A few minutes go by and nothing. You turn the key and start driving again. You open the window for a second, hoping to get rid of the alcohol fumes. Something tells you they'll stick around for a while. Let's go home. We'll get gas later. I want to make sure that I have time to do some stoof. Alright. Okay. So, this one is most likely true. Victim 1 was a molester who was never arrested. So, he's a great football coach. But yeah, he molested a kid, and that's why he's got justice on there. Victim 2 killed in the only spot without CCTV. Victim 3. Okay, victim 2 had a stolen wallet. Okay. Okay. See, I'm not thinking her. Or, oh wait, him, sorry. Because, yeah, he could have been molested by this guy, but Unless his dad's a cop or something like that. Don't think that was him either. He's a cop. His dad was a cop. Probably in the 70s. So he's from the 70s. So these two are very could be. I don't think her, because she's not a cop. Her family wasn't cops, so I doubt that she came down. These guys, if like their dads were cops or something like that, very likely. I don't know. So right now I'm thinking these two guys. Literally could be either of these dudes. None of these are actually helpful at the moment. Okay. Phone rings and you jump. You're not used to hearing it. No one ever calls you. Must be Bissett. You pick up. Bissett sounds irritated. You there? Yeah. Listen, it's... She pauses. You suddenly hear a ruckus in the background. Probably noise at the station. Bissett raises her voice. Anyone got the time? Hey, guys, anyone? Fuck, they're all Neanderthals here. Listen, it's early and I'm wiped out. As are you, I bet. Let's get straight to the point. What do you have for me? A calm, methodical voice. You start giving her the evidence you collected. Start with the first suspect, connection to the victims, the rumors, and the second suspect, and so on. A few minutes in, she lets out a whistle. Not bad at all, seriously. You should come and give a lesson to the zombies I work with. Long sigh. I have some good news for you. We checked the alibi of one of the suspects I gave you. As you listen to her, you turn to the board and pull down the suspect she's referring to. So, it's gotta be someone else. She snickers. You know how lucky you are? I'm doing your job for you, pal. Alright, enough chit-chat. I gotta run. Call you in 2-3 days, okay? Understood. Good doggy. I'm a dick. Call you in 3 days. You better have what I need to make a proper arrest. DA has fangs. Pretty sure he's gonna turn into a werewolf at some point. Babbles on for a while. Her voice becomes softer, but just as sarcastic. That would explain his terrible breath. Okay, I'm out. She hangs up. Hold the handset to your ear for a while. You just have one thing in mind: sleeping and forgetting it all. Ah, ha ha! See? Person I didn't think. Out. The heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. Pull open a sofa bed, which unfolds with an unpleasant creak. You collapse onto the mattress. The events of the day run through your head. Streets, passengers, their faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed. Your body aches, and you're in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. You hope to find information tonight, even as soon as you wake up. Shake your head, and your mind wanders around for a second. Suddenly, you're asleep. Alright, that's going to be it for night 3 of Night Call. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Later.